¿Qué pasa? Welcome back to another solo leveling video on my channel, guys. Today we're going to be talking about an SR rated character. The name is Kang Taeshik, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right. Now, this character is actually very useful, right? A lot of people actually underestimate him. However, his damage actually can rival some SSR characters. And that being said, he's only an SR character. So we're going to be covering in this video the best builds for him, best team synergies, best skill options, and why he's so good. Now, how to build this character, right? So there's actually 3 optimized sets for him, right? If you're looking to build him as a DPS character, right? So you could be running the armed set, the toughness set, or like in my case, the one-hit kill set, right? Now, in my case, the one-hit kill set actually increases ultimate skill damage by 25% and increases the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%, right? However, running the armed kit would be more desirable for most cases, since the 2-piece increases the user's attack by 5% and the 4-piece, when attacking, ignores 15% of the target's defense and attacks. In terms of jewelry sets, you want to be running either expert, champion on the field, or concentration of firepower. Again, I'm running the concentration of firepower. However, the more desirable is actually the expert set, because the 2-piece provides, when landing a critical hit, it has basically a 25% chance to increase the attack of the hunter by 0.8%, stacking up to 100 times, right? So that is basically why it is very desirable in case you're trying to run this character as a DPS. And the 4-piece increases the activation rate to 50% and attack increase effect to 1.6%, right? So those are actually the 3 jewelry and normal sets you could be equipping this character with. Now, in terms of weapons, the best weapon for him is actually the Unstoppable Frenzy, because this one increases the user's back attack damage by 2.5%, and Kang Taeshik damage to bleeding target increases to 2.5%, also on top of that. However, since probably most people are not really going to be bothering with crafting his weapon, even though this one would actually enhance his capabilities of dealing more damage, it is more desirable to actually choose a free-to-play weapon. Now, the SR bow, the steel bow, is actually the best weapon for him. Apart from that, you could also be running, like in my case, the R variant of that weapon, which at higher tiers is also very viable. Now, in terms of main stats you want to be choosing this character, or you want to be focusing on, mainly attack. If you're getting a helmet, go for attack. If you're going for boots, go for critical hit damage. For bracelets, go for dark damage, and for the ring, go for attack percentage up. Now, in terms of substats you want to be focusing on, again, attack, critical hit rate, critical hit damage. Literally only those 3. Don't bother with anything else. Right, skill level priority. Now, his main damage actually comes from his bleed mechanics. He's actually one of the few DOT characters, damage over time characters, which we have in the game, right? Now, his attacks actually, to some extent, especially his support skill, is able to inflict bleed. Basically deals damage equal to 0.6% of the current HP every 3 seconds. Duration is 30 seconds, right? Now, if you want to be, this is like a pro insider tip. If you're running Jingwu and you're running, for example, Kang Taeshik as support, as a DOT support, right? Build him with HP, right? You want to scale up his HP as high as possible, because then this would in turn increase the bleed damage being done, right? Apart from that, there is no other attack which is somewhat useful in terms of damage over time. But again, as I said, his main damage potential comes from his bleeding mechanics, right? So that would be definitely the first and possibly only priority really to focus on. As for the other skills, I mean, you can choose freely what you want to build and how you want to be optimizing his kit. Now, in terms of best dupes, I wouldn't really bother with it, because he's an SR character, and for SR characters, most of the time you're going to be naturally acquiring all of their dupes with time. As you can see, I have him at A6, so yeah, it's pretty much very easy to go for more dupes on a SR character, so I wouldn't bother with focusing on any dupes. Now, in terms of team synergies, this would actually be the best team you can use him, because the entire Hunter squad is focused on basically doing DOT damage. DOT stands for damage over time. Now Kang Taeshik, he will inflict bleed, Song, he will inflict burn, and Choi, he will also inflict burn. So you have a most optimized team. Now in case you're lacking Choi, you could also run, where is he? What's his name? There he is, Joe Hwan. I think I'm pronouncing him right. He is also inflicting burn. However, the burn effect from Choi is actually better and deals more damage, right? So this is actually the most optimized team for running as a support for Jinwoo. And if you then change Jinwoo's set to like DOT optimized inflicting poison, for example, while running the Kasaka or some weapon similar to it, right, which inflicts also burn or poison damage, then that would be very, very much usable. Now, the problem is with Kang and some of these DOT characters, some bosses don't let you apply DOT damage, right? So some bosses can't be afflicted with bleed or burn, which is basically diminishing their purpose, right? However, when running against mobs or running against general bosses which do not have any resistances, that would be, again, most optimized team and a very viable strategy. So yeah, that's basically it for Kang Taeshik. Now, definitely one very underestimated character. Again, as I said, his damage can even rival some SSR characters when the bleed mechanic can be used, because the bleed basically makes his damage skyrocket actually. And the other thing is he has a very good is a very good general support for someone like Jinwoo. Again, as I've shown, you can run a perfect DOT team, which is focusing on inflicting bleed or poison or burn, right? And that would actually work very well against a lot of mobs and a few bosses in the game as well, right? So that's actually where he shines, due to his support skill. Hence, I'm also suggesting to always focus on using his support skill, and basically if you're going to be leveling up something, then level up his support skill. So yeah, that's everything from me today. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.